Our queen, if she breathes, she's a god!
The term online identity implies that there is a distinction between how people present themselves online and how they do offline. But any between online and offline identity is narrowing. In contrast to the 1990s of the internet, people today use social media primarily to communicate with people they knew in real life, at home, work, and school. We are living in a digital world than face-to-face interaction. We have interaction involving technology, cellular phones, computers, and other gadgets. Thus, we build our digital self. Here is my question. What is your digital self? How do you represent yourself online? This chapter module will help you understand how online identity is established based on the information you offer in the technology interactions. It will present the risks and dangers for posting too much of your personal life or pretending you are somebody else in the social media world. This chapter module will also present what you can do to protect your online personalities. And my name is Alphey and I'm reporting the module 11, the digital self and the other in the cyberspace. And let's start. Before we start our discussion, let me tell you the objective of this module. At the end of this learning module, you are expected to discuss about your online identity and their self in the cyberspace and user ID. Expound selective self-introduction and impression management. Evaluate the impact of online interaction of the self. And lastly, establish boundaries of the online self, private versus public, personal versus social identity online, gender and sexuality online. That's all. So let's start. Online identity is the new sum of your characteristics and interactions. Because you interact differently with each website you visit, each of those websites will have different picture of you, who you are, and what you do. Sometimes the different representation of you are referred to as a partial identities, because one of them has the full true picture of who you are. Your online identity is not the same as your real-world identity, because the characteristics you represent online differ from the characteristics you represent in the physical world. A great example of this are YouTubers, because some are totally different when they are not recording in real life. Every website you interact with has its own idea of your identity, because each one of you visits sees you as a characteristic differently. Online, most research on identity focus on self-presentation. Social media like social networking sites, blogs, and online personnel requires users to self-consciously create virtual deceptions of themselves. One way of understanding such as self-presentation is the information and materials people choose to show others online, on Facebook profile or Twitter stream. But identity is also expressed through interacting with others whenever over instant messenger or email. Since there are fewer identity cues available online than face-to-face, every piece of digital information a person provides, from typing seed to nickname and email address, can use to make inferences about them. So, here's my question. How do you build your online identity? Every website that you interact with will collect its own version of who you are, based on the information that you have shared. Thus, it is up to you who will represent yourself as closely as who you are and what you do in real life or selectively to create a representation far from your real life. These are characteristics showing behaviors designed to convey an image about ourselves to other people and to influence the perception of other people in this image. This explains why our behavior can change if we notice that we are being watched or observed. This self-presentation can also change depending on who you are interacting with or personal information we need to be providing to present ourselves in a way that can be acceptable to others. Thus, we can select only what we want to present and impress to others, what we view beneficially to our personality. Especially when we create a digital self, we carefully choose representation or expression one real world to the online world. When interacting with other people, we automatically make inferences about them without even being consciously aware of it. We cannot help but ponder what they are thinking about, what their facial expression mean, what their intentions are, and so on. This predisposition is what makes social interaction so demanding. This suggests that interaction with human partner requires more emotional involvement and thus more cognitive effort than interacting through a computer. The conclusion is, online interaction does not require cognitive or emotional involvement, making our interaction with it much easier. So to give you an idea of this is that when I'm talking to a stranger, I give a different vibe to him, because I don't know him and I don't want him or her to show my bad self. I want them to show my good side. Good side. But if that person sorry, my bad. I'm not very good at drawing, but if this person is a friend, then you will not be awkward. You will not be awkward to him to interact with. That's why in the conclusion, online interaction does not require cognitive or emotional involvement, making our interaction with it much easier. Because in the day-to-day age, we use gadgets. So, is it true that Facebook provides opportunity for increased identity development? Yes. Reportedly, results from a 2019 survey of a college student indicate that the heaviest Facebook users were also most satisfied with their lives and exhibited greater social and political engagement. However, online interaction cannot reveal our true feelings and can decrease people's happiness. The extra effort of involvement in face-to-face interaction can be spared in online interaction that are unfolded on minimal or concentrated social cues. Most of these signals can be summed up in emotions or punctuations. Hence, it is easier to hide our emotions behind an email, a Facebook post, or a tweet.